Again, we're asked to do the sloping road from A to B to C. So A to B is level at 40, and B to C is falling or going downhill at a rate of 1:10. So A to B should be fairly handy, and we know that the road is at 40, so wherever a 40 contour comes into play, I'm going to put in my dots. Again, this is ordinary level kind of stuff, or similar to the stuff that's done in ordinary level. And these contours are above, so therefore I'm going to have to cut this land away. This land is below, therefore I'm going to have to fill. I do suggest to do this all the time. And I'm going to again have to cut in this scenario here. Now from B on, it's going to go downhill, and I'll work on that afterwards. But the initial setup should be fairly simple. So we've cut and fill. I'm going to do cut in blue and fill in red. So our cut ratio is 1:2, isn't it? Sorry, 1:1. Sorry, 1:1. The contours are in 5s, so therefore my spaces for cut are going to be in 5s as well. Anybody have any difficulty with that? Good. So step out 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I'm going to go 35. I don't think I'll need that many. Remember, the road is at 40. So as I step out, I'm going higher up. So that's 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. My blue pen stopped working. I just preferred this one. So again, if you're in the exam, don't be afraid to use pen. So this is at 40, this is going to be 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Why am I not going more than 65? Because there's no more than 65 on the map, so I don't need to. So what I'll do is I'll mark off 40 hits there, there's 45, 50, 55, 60 hits 60 there, 65 hits 65 here, then it goes back to 65, and 60, 55, 50, 45, and we're back down here. So that's my cut, like so. Cut bit done. I'm going to do my other cut bit over here, so I'm going to have 2 or 3 little cuts, again 5mm spacing, 1, 2, 3, probably won't need more than that, I'd imagine. Again, put your contours onto it, 45, 50, 55. So I start at 40, 45, 50, 55. I don't think I'll need more than that, but I can do more later if I need to. Now, fill is going to go in red. Our man fill, and the fill ratio is 1:1.5, isn't that correct? So 1:1.5. We're going to multiply this by the difference in contours. Difference in contours is 5. Sorry, that should be 1.5. 1:1.5. So 5 times 1 is 5. 1.5 times 5 is 7.5. 7.5 is going to be my spacings for my fill activity. So 7.5, 15, 22.5, 30, 27.5, 45. Again, coloured pen and labels are going to help me massively on this. I do suggest it. I do see a lot of you don't do it, so please start doing it if you want to do it right. Okay, so we have, again, the numbers are going to decrease because it's falling away. So we have 40, the road is at 40, so this first one is going to be 35, 30, 25, 20. Don't need to go any further than that because there's no other numbers on the page. So, if I get my black pen here, where does 35 cross 35 crosses here, 30 crosses 30 there, and here, 25 crosses 25 there and there, and there's our little curve. Okay, that's my fill activity. Again, if we want to use a bit of colour to identify it, show the examiner, I know exactly what I'm talking about. We have red, we have blue. I do suggest that you use coloured pencils and not markers for this activity because you don't want to cover over your work. You'll notice I haven't rubbed out any lines either, which is good as well. And they're almost mirror images of each other, which is excellent. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this sloping part here, B to C. Okay, I've done the little cut as if that's continuing on that way. I don't think I'll need much more by that bend. So B to C is sloping at a rate of 1:10. Now we know that B is at 40 meters above sea level and it's falling downhill. So essentially if that was my set square, we're on B going downhill, okay, at 1:10. Now I'm going to measure the distance between B and C and seeing does it give me, it's 60 odd, so it's not really a definite position, it's not a definite height, so I'm going to find my own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out 50 millimeters, call this point F, because we have A, B, C, D and E, so F would be the next point, and bring F to the edge of the road. Now, the difference in distance, so if we remember, okay, it's falling, so it's going downhill, 1:10. What I've done is I've travelled along the road 50, so it's something is to 50, and the difference there is going to be 5. So I've multiplied 10 by 5, therefore 1 is multiplied by 5. So the difference in height is going to be 5 meters. So F is going to be 5 meters lower than B. Yes?
Is there any worries?
Yeah. I'm trying to find out what year that is. I'm not sure just what year it is, okay? So once I know F is going to be 5 meters below where I started, I'm going to write in at 35. Now, we're going to need a cut and a fill, maybe. So what I'm going to do before I try to do both and waste my time, I'm going to analyze the situation. My contours here are all, if that's at 40, these contours are already starting off above it. And as I'm going downhill, these contours are getting slightly lower, but I'm still going to have to cut away the land. So I know, looking at this and reading my map, that I know that I don't have to do the fill activity. So I'm not going to waste my time doing the fill activity, I'm just going to do the cut. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay. No, you can hold on. I'll give it to somebody else. Right. So at F, I'm going to create my arc because cut at the butt, fill at the hill. Remember, it's like this. It's like our sets are here. Okay, sloped in that direction. So it's sloping downhill. So fill at the hill and cut at the butt. So I'm going to do the arc down here at the butt. Now I need to work out what radius I'm going to do. So the height difference is 5. Okay, sorry, we'll start again. Cut is 1:1. The height difference between the two of them, A, B and F, is 5 meters. Therefore my radius is going to be 5 meters. If the height difference between the two of them was 10, the radius would be 10. If the height difference between the two of them was 20, the radius would be 20. Does that make sense? Okay, so this here is your height and this here is your radius. So I'll set up my compass to be 5 millimeters of a radius. Create that radius with my compass. Again, don't forget I'm still only on part A of the question here. So you need to be fast at this. There's my radius. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create my tangential arc. Again, you only have to do this on one side of the road, so that speeds you up automatically. That hits the road at 40, therefore it's going to be associated with the 40 contour. Now I'm going to work back and do my spacings like I did here. So I'm going to work out and have spacings of 5 millimeters. Hopefully the coloured pen helps you identify the similarity between here and here.
So how did you know that you have to make a tangential line?
Okay, so do you remember I showed you the little model that I have?
Yeah.
And do you understand the purpose of that model?
Yes.
Okay, so if you understand the purpose of that model, then you'll understand why there's a cone. So that's actually the top view of a cone. And this is the tangential line that's at that level above sea level. I'll explain to you now in 1 second, just when I get this bit done. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, so 45 and then 50, and we go 55 as well, because I can see the 55 contour there somewhere. So that's going to be 55 and 50. So where does the 35 hit the 35 contour? It doesn't hit it anywhere. Where does the 40 hit the 40 contour? It doesn't hit it anywhere. The 45 hits the 45 here. So this is where we're going to start. Then the 50 crosses the 50 here. 55 crosses the 55 here. And I need 60 as well. Yeah, these are all just parallel lines to each other, to this tangential line. So if you give me a second, Tara, I'll explain that to you now, okay? So there's my 55. There's my 60 then. Where does that cross 60? Crosses 60 here. And here. So it crosses it at both locations. And then 55 comes into play again. So I take the 55 and continue on this way. And it crosses 55 there. The 50, because I need these lines overlapping each other, it's going to cross here. So for this line, it starts here, it goes to 55, goes to 60, back to 60 again, back to 55, back to 50 again. Okay? So that there is my arc. If I can do this maybe in a darker, or a marker, might make a little bit more sense if I just grab a marker. Of course, I've lost my pencil case when I need it. But if I was to grab kind of a thin marker, comes along like this, goes up, hits that point, hits 55 and 50. Now there's not much of an overlap here. If I zoom in on that point, do you notice how there's not much of an overlap happening here? I'm going to need one extra line. So I need to continue the 45 on a little bit further and get an extra line to overlap. So that's going to overlap there, which means that this arc is going to continue to there. And now I have an overlap here and an overlap there. Do you see that? That's what we want. Okay, and that's part A fully completed. Okay, so hopefully that helps with part A. Part DE. Okay, and the profile is going to be done in this section here on the right hand side of the page, and it's before the overpass DE has been created, but the cuts and the fills have been done for AB. So like I said, I lost a sheet for this earlier on, so we're still going to cut along DE there and here. Alright, so if I take a coloured pen or pencil and we take our lines across horizontally, so wherever DE will cross the contour, we bring it across. And again, the phrasing of the question mentions that use the image on the right hand side of the question to guide you. So you should use that as well, okay? And I'm just going to highlight, I'm going to bring these 2 points here also. Which is the edge of the road. So what I'm going to do then on the right hand side is I'm going to take my set square and I'm going to put in my heights, the heights above sea level. And I'm going to first off see what I'm dealing with. Okay, so D is at 30, so D is my lowest height. So this here line is going to start off at 30. The contours are in 5, so therefore every 5 millimeters I will have a line. and we're going up in 5s. So this is my first height line, that's going to be 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Again, labeling everything, it takes 2 minutes. And then we fill in the dots. So this is at 30, so that will come up to here. The next one is 35. The next one is 40. The next one is 45. The next one's 50, 55, 60, 65. Then we hit 65 again over here. And then these two, A and B, again according to the question, that is a level road, and that was at what height? Anybody recall from the question? AB is at 40. So I know that this point here is going to come across at 40. So that's there and there. So if I do my road map properly, it will come like this. The initial height then will come across and hit 65 again. However, we have the slope of the road cut out. And the cut ratio was 1:1, isn't it? Am I right in saying that? So therefore, the angle of cut from, there's my road there. Okay, my road is sitting there. The angle of the cut is 45. So therefore, I will go up at a 45-degree angle until that road is cut off. So it's going to be something along those lines there. That will come across generally there. And again, 45 degrees in the opposite direction. And your road will come down something along those lines there. And that's part B completed. If you want to understand it a little bit easier, maybe perhaps turning the board might help to understand it. Your little car is travelling along. There's the wheels of the car there. Travelling along the road, okay, car coming in the opposite direction. There's my slope. I have to cut that land away and cut that land away so that my car can go into that space. Does that make sense? The overpass, if the overpass was in existence, we would put that in there as well at a certain height. We know that that's at AB is, I think, what do we say that was at a oh no, sorry, this is in the wrong location, is it? DE, are we given the height for DE in the question? Oh yeah, AB, sorry, AB is level at the height of 40, so I'm right, sorry, yeah. AB is at the level of 40, and the cut ratio for the whole map is 1:1. So I am right. So that there, AB is level at 40, and we know it's at 40 because it's here. So therefore, that's part B. Everybody okay with that? Yeah? Part C. So we're told that P, Q and O are 3 points on the surface of the Earth. Vertical boreholes. So you're drilling down vertically from here, down vertically by 5 meters, by 35 meters, and by 10 meters, and you reveal your stratum of ore. That could be any mineral or anything of value at all, basically, right? So we step down 5, we step down 35, and we step down 10, giving us 3 points. And once we do that, then we will hit our mineral or our ore, whatever it might be of value that we're drilling for. Could be oil, could be peat, diamonds, gold, whatever mineral of value. So now we have P, Q and R. These are our drill holes. There could be fracking holes for gas or whatever else either. And we have P, Q and R in our plan, and we have our 3 points here in elevation. So what we're going to do then is we're asked for the dip and the strike. So what we do then is we simply draw a horizontal line here at the middle height. That is our strike, okay, in front elevation. I'm going to call that R1. 1 is located on the line PQ, so I'm going to bring it down to the line PQ. And I'll draw in R1. Now, taking 2 set squares and lining them up to R1. Forgot to label that. That's R1. We want to look in along that line to get along the strike. And again, this is our strike. This is going to be our X1, Y1. From anywhere.
No, but like, you know the way you went down 5,
yeah. So in that case you can create a measuring line, or you can keep this here as your XY line. So that could be your XY line. You can measure up, 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 or it's a very good question, but it's nothing that you're not used to. So if I just use green here just as my colour to change it up a little bit. What I could do is I can use XY line there, and I could take my compass and take my measurement up, or I could take my bottom point there, and that could be my hand's gone.
So it's from the points that we moved down.
Yeah, so those points are what we're considering, because that is the stratum of ore. That's the mineral. That's the thing of value.
Okay.
So P, Q, and R are on the Earth's surface, so that's what you'd be walking along if you're hiking or anything. You'd be walking along P, Q, and R. We have to drill down from there to get to the mineral, which is underneath the surface. So this is the mineral. So my measuring line there, that means that Q is going to be on the ground, okay, and then the height of R, which I will take with my compass, and then this height here I can take with my compass. I could take it from the XY line either, depending on what your preference is. So there's that height there. And if I've done this correctly, the stratum of ore should be in that direction there. So this point height should be the same for P, if I've done it correctly. As you can see, I have. So that is my angle, theta, and you can just put an arrow saying the dip as well. Okay? So that is that.